What's up, Make Pop Music? It's Austin Hull from Austin Hull Audio and Visual and Make Pop Music, and I am back with another tutorial today. And for today's tutorial, we're going to be going over how I actually tune my vocals. So to me, getting a really nice tuned vocal is kind of key for getting that polished, pop sound, that hip-hop R&B sound, all of those different genres that you're going to want to try to get that vocal at the center of the focus. To me, having a tuned vocal really helps that vocal shine a little bit more. So I tune my vocals because I really want them to sit inside of everything. I don't want any pitch discrepancies distracting away from, the vocal kind of being here pitch-wise and everything else being kind of here pitch-wise. I want them to all be locked in together. And depending on the song and the arrangement and the style, I kind of just pick how hard do I want to tune this vocal? Do I want it to have audible, artifacts in tuning? Or do I want it to be a little bit more laid back and subtle and just kind of get everybody to the right pitch? So those are two decisions that you have to make kind of early. But either way, it's the same exact process. We're just going to actually walk through my process. So for my tuning, I'll actually do dual tuning, which is where I'll go in graph mode, either in VariAudio or in Auto-Tune Pro, and I'll actually drag everything to the right notes on the graph, just make sure everybody's kind of in the same spot, make sure everything's in the key of the song, and then once we have every single note where it needs to be, that's when I'll go in Auto-Tune and I'll just set it to the key of the song, adjust the retune speed, and then maybe set some vibrato settings, and then maybe play with the throat length a little bit, just to get that final tuned vocal sound. So today we're going to be starting with VariAudio, which is actually Cubase's just built-in tuning, and the reason that we're going to start with that is just because I'm the most familiar with that. I'm actually in the process of learning the actual graph mode of Auto-Tune Pro, so I'll probably be switching to that in the near future, but it doesn't really matter. Auto-Tune, VariAudio, any of the other tuning programs that you want to do graph mode, they're all going to do the same thing, and then I wrap up with Auto-Tune specifically because that's really where I get that polished, vocal magic sound. So without further ado, let's just actually hop in and start tuning this. Okay, so now that we're in my DAW, we're going to go ahead and listen to the tuned version and the untuned version, and then I'm actually going to walk through the untuned version with you and just show you how I tune it by hand in VariAudio or in Auto-Tune Pro, and then we're going to throw some auto-tune settings on it and really show you how to get that super, super tight, polished vocal sound. So for this song, we're going to be tuning somewhere in the middle of like kind of audible, not super, super artificial, but also not super transparent. We want that tightness. We don't mind if it's a little bit artificial here and there, just because it'll fit the production. But let's go ahead and listen to the tuned vocal. So this is what we'll end up with.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, yeah. Let's make mistakes, yeah. We'll go into the bed for fucking breaks, yeah. I'll dive into your body like a lake, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, baby.
So let's actually hop in now and let's just start with the untuned vocals. So I did go ahead and I chopped out like all the breaths and stuff. You can either do that before or after tuning, but let's go ahead and double click on it. So you can see right here that none of the notes are even like quantized to the right pitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on VariAudio and we're going to highlight everything. And the first thing I like to do is quantize everything to the right spot. And then I'll actually drive the straighten pretty high up just so I can make sure that no notes are drifting. That way I can get everything to the exact right note that it needs to be on. And if something needs to be split, we can split notes. And then later I'll kind of ease off on the straightening until we get to somewhere that's right in that kind of sonic space of do we want it super artificial or super loose. But for right now, I like to tune it super hard just so we can see what all is actually in tune of the song. So let's go ahead and turn off everything else just so we can get a nice dry vocal. And let's listen. Let's actually listen before we had even the quantized and straightened audio. So this is what we had at first.
I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah.
So it's not a great vocal take. This is just kind of a demo that I'm working on. So this is kind of just like a one take all the way through. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go tune it. So we've actually turned on VariAudio and you can see here that we've got everything quantized and straightened pretty hard. So now we'll have something like this.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, yeah, yeah. Let's make mistakes.
So what I would do is basically I just want to take any notes that are kind of off the wrong note, and I want to get those to the right place because Auto-Tune will have trouble with that a little bit later if the notes are just on the complete wrong notes. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Can I persuade you? Can I persuade you?
So that needs to go back up.
Can I persuade you?
That's a little better. So we drag that one, this little baby guy up just so it's not wobbling up and down. So now we've got...
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place.
We could even probably split this right here because you can tell that it's drifting just a bit. We'll highlight those, quantize those, get that to where it needs to go. So we are in F sharp minor, so we want to just make sure that we stay within that key. So yeah, we should be good to go there.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby. Yeah, yeah, tell a fucking soul, baby.
Something sounds weird right there. Yeah, right here, we're gonna split this off. Highlight all of that. Let's see. Let's try that.
So, baby. So, baby. Yeah, yeah. So, baby. Yeah, yeah.
That's a little better.
Let's make mistakes, yeah. We'll go into the bathroom, fucking breaks, yeah. I'll dive into your body like...
Honestly, this is drifting a little bit, so let's just go ahead and start this on a lower note.
Go into the bathroom, fucking breaks, yeah. I'll dive into your body like a lake, yeah.
And I see right here that I did this little kind of run little riff.
Like a lake, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, baby.
So really that's as easy as it is to tune them by hand. Just go in, and I personally like to drive that straight in, or that it's normally called straighten. They'll either call it straighten or they'll call it like curve or something like that. But I just want to get it as straight as possible just to make sure that the notes are on the right notes. And then you'll see as we ease off, we'll get some of that curve back. So I'll probably keep it right here around like 40. Let's go ahead and take a listen and see if there's any more fine-tuning work that we need to do.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah.
So like this can be split, so we'll get some cleaner tuning a little bit later. The less things that are gonna kind of drift, we're gonna get a little bit cleaner result of a little bit later.
Right back to my place, yeah. Go right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby. Yeah, yeah. Let's make mistakes, yeah. We'll go into the bathroom, fucking breaks, yeah. I'll dive into your body like a lake, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul.
Let's see.
And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, baby.
So that's sounding pretty good. I don't think we're getting really any audible errors. I think that I can honestly tighten this up just a little bit. Let's actually hear it in the reference of the mix now.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah.
This can be tuned a little bit harder because it's kind of drifting a little bit.
I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, yeah, yeah. Let's make mistakes, yeah. Go into the bathroom, fucking breaks, yeah. I'll dive into your body like a lake.
So you can see that we've gone through and done that hand tuning, and that really tightens everything up, especially in the mix, and that vocal is sitting quite a bit better. Let's go ahead and do a quick before and after just so you can hear how much different that vocal sits.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't dress you in 100 different ways, yeah.
So you can see that the more on tune it is, the better it's actually sitting in with everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn on kind of like my demo vocal chain. It's stuff similar to what we've run through in the past. And let's go ahead and drag on Auto-Tune. So I like using Autotune Pro just in case I do wanna do some graph editing. It's really easy. All you really have to do is kind of like track the pitch. So you just bring it back here and then...
Persuade you. I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah.
And you can just go in and you can tune those as you want. I'm still getting to know it a little bit because I am pretty new into Autotune Pro. But I really enjoy the VariAudio just because it's actually built into my DAW. If I was in any other DAW, I definitely just do all of this in Autotune, but since Cubase has VariAudio, I just use that at first just because it's the easiest and most accessible to me. So the graph editor in Autotune is super cool, but since I'm not super familiar with it, I'm not gonna make a whole video on that. Maybe we'll hop into that later. But let's take a look at what I do use Autotune for, and that is auto mode. So let's set it to the key of the song, F sharp minor, and let's just take a listen.
I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah.
So we're already getting much closer to what we want to do. So let's go ahead and start messing with the first thing I always mess with, and that's the retune speed. So the higher the retune speed is, as a number like 400, that's actually going to be a really loose tuning. And then if you go all the way up to 0, that's going to be like that, like Travis Scott, you know, Migos effect. Let's take a listen.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah.
So we don't want something like that, but we do want it pretty tight, so I'm probably gonna go around like 20, which is actually just what it comes set as. So technically I could have just set this to the key and let it run. And then flex tune, this is actually just kind of like a humanizing quality to it. So, you know, the higher you have it, it's gonna kind of smoothen it out a little bit.
I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah.
So I'll set it up just a little bit, just so it kind of like eliminates some of the artifacts. It's kind of almost like a mix knob for your tuning. So the higher you have flex tune up, it is gonna affect auto tune less. So I'll actually drive it kind of down. I'll have that around 20 as well. And then this is to add vibrato. We don't wanna do that, but you'll hear this a lot in like Post Malone style songs where he has like that kind of like goaty sounding vibrato. If that's getting in the way of tuning, you can actually set this, and then you can go to something like the advanced mode where you can set the vibrato variation, the pitch amount, and you can even start to like do some MIDI stuff where you can, you know, target MIDI notes with an actual MIDI controller. Like if you know the melody that you want to play but you don't know what it would be on the actual like graph editor, you can play your melodies. If you want to go ahead and find the key, you can do stuff like that. But I like to keep it pretty simple. And then basically once I have my tuning set, I've got a couple more things that I can do with it. So we've got something like this.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah.
Then we've got something where we can actually start doing the throat length. So I'll normally do this more as an effect instead of like an actual tuning thing. But if there is somebody that is specifically nasally or just really like chesty, I'll use the throat length to kind of smooth their voice out. So like, I'm a little nasally on this take, so let's go ahead and take a listen in solo mode. Here's just 100.
I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah.
So it gets that this at like 106 just to kind of give me a little bit more, you know, chest in my vocal.
Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, baby, yeah, yeah.
And that just kind of smooths out some of those like nasally high mids that I have in my vocals. So sometimes I'll do that. Normally I'll just get a better take. Like I said before, this is just kind of a one take demo, just to kind of hear the top line on the song. So for stuff like that, a lot of the time I'll mess with the throat length, or you can do even like that Black Bear effect that I think we've done on the channel before, where you can automate it and do something like this.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell a fucking soul, yeah, yeah.
But we'll go ahead and just set this at like 106. And then that's pretty much all that I normally mess with on Autotune. If you want, you can like set the vocal type. Sometimes I'll set it to like an instrument if I want to do, you know, like an acoustic guitar or even like a guitar DI. Sometimes I'll do something like that. But that's pretty much it. Like I said before, you can use the graph mode if you want to track everything in. I typically just do it in VariAudio because it's just built into Cubase, and it's really simple. I am kind of learning the graph mode on Autotune Pro at the time, but even if you only have like Autotune EFX or something like that, I just highly recommend the Antares stuff as just kind of the last little bit of, you know, seasoning on your vocal, just because it's going to get it even that much tighter. Let's take a listen with and without it. It just catches any last minute peaks that you might have kind of missed, or that something like a graphical editor might not be able to really tighten up without it getting super artificial sounding. So let's take a listen with and without Autotune, and then that basically wraps up all of my vocal tuning.
Can I persuade you? I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. Wait, yeah. I wanna take you right back to my place, yeah. Undress you in 100 different ways, yeah. And we don't have to tell the fuck it's so, baby, yeah, yeah. Let's make mistakes, yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Just to kind of recap, I'll go in with either VariAudio or Auto-Tune Pro on graph mode. Get everything to the right actual pitch like you would on like a keyboard, MIDI editor. Get everything to the right note to where it needs to go. Make sure nothing's kind of drifting in and out. Make sure there's no weird vibrato that's gonna turn something like Auto-Tune or anything that's on like any kind of auto mode to a weird key. And then just go in Auto-Tune, set your key, make sure your retune speed and your format and everything like that kind of fit the sound you're going for. And then if you want, you can even play around with some of the, natural vibrato settings they have. I don't use them too much because they don't really do anything super desirable for my specific voice or for a lot of the vocalists I work with. But if there was a song that needed it, or there was a song that kind of had a bit more variation in terms of just vibrato and pitch and maybe, shifting keys and stuff like that, where auto mode might get a little messy, I'd probably just go in, set my own key, use something like the natural vibrato, and then just kind of let it run. But that's pretty much it for vocal tuning. So as you can see, tuning is pretty simple. All you really want to do is get everything to the right note, make sure nothing's drifting, and then I like to throw auto-tune on just in the key of the song just to make sure that everything is really tight and really polished, and just adjust that retune speed to taste. Do you want something super natural and laid back? Do you want to have some, humanizing qualities? Or do you just want it to be straight cranked, perfectly tuned, robotic sounding? There's not really a right or wrong way. It's really just taste. Use auto-tune, use tuning in general as a tool to kind of get your vocal to where it needs to be, whether that be subtle tuning or really, really dramatic tuning. But hopefully this helped you. I suggest tuning vocals. I personally do it in almost every song, even if the vocalist is absolutely amazing. It just helps that vocal sit just a little bit better than if it wasn't actually tuned finally. So that's going to be it for this video. Let us know what you guys want to see next time. And if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Come join the group. We do still have a top line competition going for the next week and a half. So definitely come check it out. We have tons of prizes and it's not too late to enter. But we will see you guys next time. Much love, make pop music. Peace out.